this is Amy. Thanks so much for stopping by my channel. I just did a video showing you the design and how I created the design that I'm going to be putting on this glass. This is a glass Trifle Bowl where you can layer desserts, sorry, losing my train of thought, salads and such, and it's just can also be used as a centerpiece. There's a variety of things you can do with this type of a bowl. So if you like to entertain, like to show off a little bit, this would be a great piece to have as an entertainment piece. You can actually, I did one of these bowls where I painted the outside of it, put water in it, put some floating candles and some cut flowers, and it was a beautiful centerpiece. And now I'm mixing my paint up. I keep forgetting that I need to show you what I'm doing. Alright, I'm going to be using a number, this is the number 4, and yes it has paint in it, number 4 round brush, and then 2 number 12 flat brushes. Paint I'm using for this is, all these are Folk Arts. This is Folk Art, it's kind of shiny bottle, Treasure Gold. New paint for me. I'm not sure how it's going to behave on glass, so bear with me. Wicker White, Baby Pink, Aqua, and Magenta. So on this, what I'm doing is mixing Wicker White and the Magenta together to get, it kind of looks like Pepto-Bismol color of paint. And I'm going to use that first to apply paint to this design. And I'm going to try my best to not make it so big so I can get everything I need to get in here in. So wish me luck, because I normally make my designs pretty darn big. This design I'm creating on this bowl, this glass bowl, is a very, I don't know, kind of a loose design, at least for the floral part. The leaves not so much, but the actual flower pattern is pretty loose. And so then I'm going to be doing my odd numbers. If you follow me, you'll know what I'm talking about. I like to do my odd numbers. And this is just a good base coat. We'll see what happens when we start adding in the other colors. And so I'm going to do the same over here. Now for those of you, if you're new, I reuse my glass, and you'll see this in other videos with just different designs on them. So if you see any leftover paint on these, that's why. It's not something I'm creating to sell, I'm just doing painting designs on. Alright, so let's move on here. I'm going to move on to my white, and I'm not trying to be real, like I said, real detailed or real, this is what you got to do, kind of a tutorial. This is just very loose, and you're just going to take your paint in and do just kind of like a swirly kind of motion throughout. See, I'm just kind of taking the brush and just kind of doing a swirl. Maybe creating a center at some point, but there you go. And then I'm going to come over here and do the same thing in this flower. I can reach all the way out to the edges, or I don't have to. So it's really up to you how you want to create this. Now I'm going to go back in. This is my baby pink. And I can do, if you want to be more detailed as far as being real stroke specific, and you want your strokes to kind of intertwine, that's fine. I am not really trying to do that on this. I am just randomly putting strokes in. So if you're wondering, like, what's the purpose or what am I trying to achieve here, it's just a real loose flower. Not even a specific flower, if you want to know the truth about it. It's just a flower. And if you want it to be a rose, it can be a rose. If you want it to be some other kind of flower, it can be that. It can be whatever you want it to be. Now that may sound silly, but that's just pretty much how I roll when it comes to this design, at least. And it's fun. It's just, it's easy, and I got some other color in here, but it's easy and you can just keep working it until you're happy with the way it looks. Now I am scraping my brush off, and I'm going to come back in, actually I might wipe it off, come back in with some gold, that gold into my design. Alright, so on this, not all these are going to have gold as far as into this part of it. Not all of them are going to have the gold. And then one is going to have more than the other. Like I said, it is intentional. One's just going to have a swoop of it through it, so it will have some gold in it, but it's not going to be real defined. And the other one is going to have more in it. I'll just put it like that. And then what I'm going to do is take my brush and I'm going to dip it, tap it, I should say. Not really dipping it, but tapping it into this, what I would like to have as the center. With the paint being wet, it might be a little bit more difficult to achieve the exact look, but I'm just sticking my brush into the paint and then just kind of stippling it on here. If you want to use a dotting tool, you can make it look more like dots. That's great. If you just like using the tip of this brush, that's awesome. Stick with that. And I'm going to try to make this one show up a little bit more, especially since it doesn't have any gold on it. And it's the one that wants to give me the most trouble. Alright. Okay, so the next part that I'm going to do is take one of the flat brushes and I'm going to dip it, double load it into the Aqua and the Wicker White. Again, I'm trying to show you. No, it's not working. Sorry. Dipping one side into the Aqua, one side into the Wicker White. I have to be careful because I do have some other colors mixed in with my white here. And I am just doing the blending strokes, and it will just be these two colors. Well, unless I pick up some pink or something in it, which could very well happen. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. On this one I'm going to do a couple little blending strokes, and then I am trying to do it as, it's probably a little sharper one that I'm getting, but I want the pointed edges. I don't want it to be just a soft edged flower, but I keep, or leaf, excuse me, I keep pulling the paint off. You have to be careful with that too. Let me pull that back a little bit. Alright, so then we're going to come over here and do the same thing. And then come back up here. Now, if you want to, you can go over it again. And I'm doing that here. Just have to be careful because on glass, for some reason, you know, it just doesn't behave the same as paper. And I do apologize, there goes my furnace again. I just got to be careful when I'm doing this that I'm not pulling the paint off, because I want it to be opaque to give it good coverage. That's the whole point. Now with these leaves, you can use the stem and pull through with the actual Aqua, or if you want, you can use the gold. Either way looks great. But for the purpose of this video, I am just going to be doing the Aqua. Alright, so I'm going to do this again. I'm just kind of ruffling it and pulling it and going back. Like I said, the only problem I'm seeing is that I keep pulling the paint, so I might have to do a little bit more with that. You know, that I'm just kind of tapping it instead of pulling it so much, just so that I get good coverage. I don't want there to be holes in my paint, in my painted work. No, I don't. I don't want there to be holes in my painted work. I worked too hard on it to have holes in it, right? I am pulling some pink. I knew that would happen. So if you want it to overlap a little bit, you can just do like what I just said. Just kind of tap and kind of pull as you go. And if you need to go over it again, you just go over it again. Because again, I want good coverage, and I don't want it to be, you know, have holes in it. And people think that I missed it, but it's like, nope, that's not the case. My brush pulled it off. It's always somebody else's fault, right? Alright, so there you go. I'm going to do one more. It's only 3. I just knocked paint off. Remember to get that, because my dog will come down here, and yes, she will find it. She probably already knows I dropped it upstairs. She's upstairs, and I'm down in the basement, so she probably already has her ears perked up to come down here and get it. It's pretty much how she rolls. Fortunately or unfortunately, she's a very smart dog. It's good in some respects and really bad in others, because she definitely knows how to get things. She doesn't forget anything either. Alright, well, I hope you're liking this. I think it's very pretty. And I'm just still trying to figure out a way, because I want to be able to introduce and you know, give you an opportunity to use the practice sheets that I'm making. If you have any suggestions on how to incorporate that into this, I would love to hear from you. Alright, this is going to be very interesting right now. I am going to just singly load the gold into my brush, and let's see what happens here. I'm just not sure. I've never used this before. Let's keep that in mind. Yeah, I might have to mix it with something else just to get it a little thicker. Let me see what happens when I mix it with the Wicker White. Yeah, I like the gold. I really do. I don't think it's going to make much of a difference, to be honest with you. Alright, so that's something you might have to go over more than once. I'm going to keep it kind of simple here, because I do definitely want to have some vines down here and some leaves, but this is a smaller working area, as I've said in the past. So I had to take that into consideration too when I'm doing this. And so I'm basically just kind of putting some different, I want to say vines, but yeah, I guess in a sense that's what these are. I just pulled from my leaf there. Didn't really want to do that. Again, when you have mistakes, you just roll with it. Alright, so let's see what happens here. Like I said, on something like this, I might have a tendency to go ahead and dry it. For the purpose of this video though, I'm not going to. I'm just going to keep rolling with it. So basically what I'm doing over here is I'm pulling in leaves with my flat brush using the just the top part of the brush, or the, oh my god, why is it when I'm trying to say something I can never remember what it is. But anyhow, just standing it up and pulling it. And I did add white to it so that I get it to have a good look, or where you can see it. And then on this one, I'm just going to put the brush down and pull it. Put the brush down and pull it. Put the brush down and pull it. So it has kind of a different look. And if you feel like you have the need to go back over the stem, by all means do it. Because once you pull stuff like this in, you might really need to do that just to straighten it up a little bit. And in that factor, you can actually even pull in some other little pieces to tie it all together, just make it a little more whimsical. That's fine. Alright, so then basically I'm going to just keep doing this around it. On this one, I'm going to do this kind of a design where I pull the leaves. And I'm hoping you can see this. Again, it's not giving me a whole lot of room. I just pulled some of that Aqua in. That's what happens when you don't wash your brush before you paint. And you go into another color. But that's okay. Alright, so I'm going to go like this, go like that. I'm just doing these little pulls, doing the little pulls. Because again, this is just not giving me a whole lot of room, but it's okay. I still can do it even though I just did that color again. Like that. See if I could paint a little smaller, it would be different. Alright, so we've got that. Let's go down here. This one I'm just going to do these kind of leaves where I'm pulling it in. I can turn them around. I can go down and do it one direction and then come back over and touch them, meaning like go like this and then turn it around and touch them with the gold part or the white, depending on which one is more prevalent. Like that. On this, I probably will go ahead and run the stem again. And then I might even go back and do more with the white. And just touch too. Sometimes you don't even have to do a full stroke. It just can be, just touching it and continuing on. Like I said, that's kind of smushy. I probably wouldn't do that part up here. It's too smushy. Alright, so let's go ahead and do a better version. And on this, I am going to just kind of go back and forth and put it like that. Back and forth, back and forth. Squishy, squishy. And like I said, on these, if you feel like they're not good coverage, then just go back over them again. I'm going to leave them though. I was going to start going over them, but I think for the purpose that I'm doing them, they're fine. I think I'm going to put that with gold though. And we'll go like that and that way, that out. Just very, very easy. On this one, we could do the ones where I'm just kind of pushing them out, pushing them out, pushing them out, pulling. And I'm not going to go over that one. I could, but I'm not going to. We'll pretend that this took it over. It's over the top of it. On this one, I'm just kind of pulling some gold back into it. If you want to go back over the stem, once again, you can. I'll go up to that leaf. And then we're almost finished. And this is a pretty easy design, honestly. Oh, yeah, there are a couple other ones I wanted to do. Okay, on this, what I'm going to do is try to do an actual leaf, regular leaf. So I'm coming out and then just pulling it back. Coming out and just pulling it back. And it can be fancier. It's a little bit different on my actual piece. But you can bring it in, bring your little stems in if you want. If you want to, you can add some regular one-stroke type leaves. And then just kind of keep getting pink and blue and everything in this. Let's see, you can bring it down, make it look like it goes through here. I don't want all those in there. Like I said, there you go. You have to learn how to fix it, right? Do the same thing over here, and I just stuck my gold in there the wrong way. And you can do leaves like this too, where I'm pulling it back, pulling it up, pulling it back. Doing the same thing over here, pulling it up, pulling it back. And then, let me scrape this off a little bit because I'm afraid it'll be too mushy. And then just bring it in, bring these down, maybe even pull another, just a one-stroke leaf down in here. Or you could stop. Because of this mess up here I probably wouldn't do. Probably would have just cut it short and just call it a day. But you get the gist. Anyways, I hope you like it. Again, make sure you view my painting that I did on the black paper, and that will give you a little more insight on how I created this design. And again, it's not the same. I had to add the white in to kind of make the gold show up a little bit better, but on my actual paper it's just the gold. So anyways, you got to improvise depending on what it is you're working on. I hope you like this. If you have questions, again, please put those down below. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. Hit the share button that you'll see underneath this video and share it on your social network with all your family and friends. I would greatly appreciate it. Alright, thanks so much for stopping by. Until the next time, you have a good one.